Hey Anna, how are you? Welcome back.
Thanks. Yeah, it's been a while. How are you doing?
It has been a while. Although I speak to you so much nowadays.
It's been a while. Yeah, it's been a while since I was on your podcast. It's not been a while since we spoke. It's been about 45 minutes since we last spoke.
That's right. So for people who don't understand what we're talking about, so basically after the very first podcast Anna came on to, I ended up joining her Kick-Ass Photographers, and we now talk twice a week at least.
But we spent about 4 hours a week chatting.
Yeah, just chatting. Sometimes it's very, very useful stuff. Sometimes it's just utter drivel, isn't it? But we always have a laugh.
The utter drivel is the fun bit.
It is. Yeah, that's what I like. Yeah. Because there's only so much you can talk about photography, isn't there? Before.
Although we managed to go on about an hour and 45 minutes this morning going on about photography stuff, didn't we? It was all so good.
Then we probably burned about just the amount of time trying to find you a new laptop. Which, by the way, have you bought your new laptop yet?
I did. I bought it right there and then. Whenever Martin's on a Zoom, by the way, listeners, don't talk to Martin because he'll make you buy stuff. He's not even trying. He just talks about things in a way that you're like, I need that in my life now.
It wasn't even you. It was Laura who wanted a new laptop, who was desperate for a new laptop. And then you
started racing for the same one.
Yeah, so is it arriving tomorrow?
Hopefully. I think it said it was, yeah. So it's quite exciting.
No, it'll be good. You won't regret it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope.
You still haven't convinced me to get the drone just yet. You're working on me for the drone, but
yeah, I still like it. I mean, like on Saturday's wedding, the groom at the end of the day was like, "Oh my god, the drone was amazing." To me, it's just I literally opened up the boot, got it out, put it on top of the car, took it off for the group shot, put it straight back in the car, and that was all I used it for. But to the guest, it's like, "Oh my god, it's a drone! Whoa!"
Exactly.
It's just a little talking point, especially for the guys. You know what we're like with toys.
I know. I liked that you said it was like a selling point. Like if there's like a hetero couple and the bride's like, yeah, this photographer's great. And the groom's like, whatever, the classic way that it is often. And she'd be like, but this one's got a drone. The boys are often like, this is actual, like you've got evidence of this.
Yeah.
Like the boys are like, oh my God, get that photographer.
Yeah, so earlier this year, I lost a booking because it was between me and another photographer, and the bride chose the other photographer because they had a drone, and the groom was the sort of cast his deciding vote because it was a tie break, and he went with the guy with the drone. And when I spoke to her afterwards, like, well, but I've got a drone, but because I hadn't made it clear, they assumed I haven't got one, and this guy's got a drone. So, they chose him. So since then I've made it clearer, and it makes people think.
So listeners, this is how Martin does it. This is how he makes you buy stuff. Who isn't looking for a drone right now?
But yeah, you can see on the calls when you mention it, the guy's eyes perk up, and the bride doesn't tend to care very much. But the guy's like, "Oh, he's got a drone. Oh, brilliant!" Yeah. But it's not like I've said before. It's not, it's not the deal breaker, but it's like a tiebreaker. So if it's between you and someone else, because generally 9 times out of 10, or 8 times out of 10, it's the bride who's the decision maker, isn't it? But when it's a tie, she's like, "Oh, who do you like?" And you want that little vote to come to you. Oh, my.
Yeah, exactly.
So there you go, guys. Buy a drone. Yeah.
Oh dear.
Oh, so anyway, talking about drones and stuff, it's Black Friday. Have you bought anything?
Oh, don't. Oh my God. What have I bought? I bought a foot massager because why wouldn't I? And then I've already sent it back. Already. It was so painful.
What?
Like you put your feet in this foot massager and the balls go like this. They kind of like roll over your feet. And it was so painful. I was like, ow, ow, ow. And I had to send it back.
Oh dear. I bought this actually. But this is going back too.
Oh.
I bought a DJI Nano. It's like a little one where you can sort of clip it to yourself. So, I mean, obviously not this box, but you can clip it to yourself. And I thought it'd be useful for BTS. But what I realized is when I'm doing photos, a lot of the time my camera's in the way. So I'm just getting half the video is just me and the camera.
Yeah.
So I just ended up thinking I'll go back to the 360 camera. So that's going back, unfortunately. But yeah.
Oh, it's the sort of thing that always does go back. That's the sort of toy that people buy. They're like, "Oh, yay, a new little camera," and you buy it and you're like, "Actually, I really don't need this."
It was one of those. I was like, convinced myself. Like I was saying this morning, people buy things emotionally and then try and justify it afterwards.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened. I was like, "Oh, I need this in my life." Yeah. And then I used it at a wedding and went, "Actually, I don't need it in my life."
No, exactly. So, I've got so many things like that. So many.
Yeah. So, right. Okay. Right. So the topic for this week is, well, it came about because of the previous podcast with the Bride Round Table. And specifically, one of the brides was like, websites, do people still have those? And I was like, ugh, mortally wounded by that comment. And I spoke to you about it and we were like, absolutely not. She's completely wrong on that. And you know, it was like, spoiler alert, I agree. You know, I agree. I think in the age of 2025, 2026, I still think we need websites. So I thought I'll invite Anna and we'll have a good conflab and we'll try and make our case for anyone who might be listening and going, yeah, I don't bother with websites no more. Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're the first people I've ever heard say that. So
I think, but I genuinely think that they don't realize when they do automatically go onto a website
that's what they're doing, that they're on a website. Yeah.
My thought is it's very, not that they don't realize, obviously they know they're going to a website, but almost like on a subconscious level, they expect it. Just like, for example, someone might come to you and say, what's your phone number? It's just assumed you've got a phone.
Yeah.
Makes sense. And I think it's very much the same thing.
Yeah. And also they might have found someone on Instagram and clicked on a link and seen their website. So they still feel like they're in Instagram.
Yes.
Even though they're on the website, they're looking at it through the Instagram links. They're still in the Instagram app looking at the website. Yeah. So they might still think it's all Instagram, but actually they've gone way beyond that.
Like, you know, when you click on people's links and they go a link tree and stuff like that, that's all a website at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And exactly. I've never really understood link tree. It's like, why don't you just send them to your website?
But it depends if you've got lots of things going on, doesn't it?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Or if you've got like a promotion, that sort of thing.
I've just created my own little cut down page on the website that only gets used for Instagram.
Yeah, that's one.
I don't like paying for monthly stuff.
There's a free link. There's definitely a free link.
There's always sort of like restrictions, isn't there? Like it'll say bloody link tree at the bottom or something. So I thought I might as well have my.
But it's easy. It's like our debate this morning about Mac versus PC. It's just easier to use Linktree because we know we just click a button and it's done, rather than like, yeah, it's fine to do your own one, but you have to know what you're doing to make that page and bother to do it. So we were arguing this morning about buying a MacBook all done versus building a PC. Like
that is true. I think you've got a good point there. Yeah, there is a lot to be said about having a done and dusted solution for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I think is a good segue. So in terms of websites, what do you think? Should wedding photographers just go and build their own, or should we be getting someone to do our websites for us? What's your thoughts on this?
Well, I do web design, so I'm going to say...
I know. It's a leading question.
So basically, I have been making my own websites for a really long time, which is how I got into web design, because a wedding photographer asked me to make them a website. And I was like, I don't know anything other than doing my own. And I've been for 5 years now, or maybe longer, I've been making websites basically full time. Like I've got as many website bookings as I have wedding photography bookings. So I've got all this experience and I'm still learning stuff. Like there's so much to know. And the more you know, the more you can make it personal, the more cool things you can do, the more functional it can be. So you can make your own, but you're going to have a big learning curve. And the end of that learning curve is you've got one website. Whereas like you've learned all that stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like you have to learn so much to have just to put your website together that like, it's just easier to hand it off to someone else. Do you know what I mean?
I totally agree. I mean, obviously I asked the question for a reason, but, and I personally, I mean, bear in mind, you know me, I'm very technical. I spent decades in IT. So when I first started being a wedding photographer, I fell down all the same mistakes. You know, I went, go and do my own website.
Yeah.
And it sucked. It absolutely sucked. Because
there's a lot to know.
I could do it technically, but I didn't think about all the other stuff which I've now learned.
User experience, brand. Exactly. Yeah.
What we mentioned earlier about conversions and stuff like that.
Exactly. Like I know where to put the buttons and which buttons. I know which pictures to put in what places. I know how to like have the flow so that you're bringing someone in and not getting rid of them, but you know, moving them on quickly enough to the next thing, but not too quickly. Like I've seen wedding photographers make their own website and it's like, go here, then go here, and also go here, and also go here, and also go here. And I'm like, which of these 20 links am I supposed to click first? It's so confusing. So like after my experience of like researching, I love like knowing how people use websites. So looking at people use websites, I know exactly when to put a button, which button, and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, so like having a dedicated web designer does mean you'll get that like better user experience for people, which means more conversions.
Yeah,
basically.
I guess using a photography analogy is a bit like trying to take your own photographs, isn't it? It's like it's just easier to get someone else to do it. You'll get a better job. You know what I mean? And again, I went through the same learning curve as many. I'm sure I'm not the only one. When I first started out, I'll do my own logo rather than pay a graphics designer. Do you know what I mean? I'll do open Photoshop. Oh my God. It was horrible. It was horrible. In fact,
back then, yeah.
You know what? I think I'm going to show you because I've got a slide of this that I showed at my last
let's have
workshop. Let me see.
So, like, while you're looking for that, I will say, like, it's made easier now to make your own logo because you can go to Canva or whatever and get like a template. But at the same time, it's knowing what looks good and works well as a whole cohesive brand. Like, we are creative people. We don't necessarily know what looks good in a logo or in a brand. So I actually offer making people. Have you frozen or have you just really, really still?
Sorry, that's me being really still. Sorry, I am listening.
I do actually. I've got a whole branding package with a branding graphic designer, but I also offer like a cheaper version where I will make them the logo in Canva, starting with a basic template, with my knowledge of what their brand should look like and what logo works and what works on a website as well, what works small, what works in different shapes and sizes and that sort of thing. So yeah, it's easier to make your own now, but it's not even about the technology. It's about knowing what actually works as well.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, it's the difference between when I tried to do it myself and when I got someone to focus on it was astounding. In fact, right, I'm just going to delete and make.
I love my logo. So the story of my logo is that I went to a cat show, like it was like crafts for cats, and their logo was this geometric cat. So I got my friend, this graphic designer who I work with, to draw me a geometric cat in like rainbow colors, and I love it.
See, I love I've always been very jealous because obviously you've got a certain, your photography surname is like Puma, which sort of lends itself to the cat.
It does,
and I love that because you can market on it like Two Man. They've got the Man, and I'm trying to think of others, but someone's name was Love. You know what I mean? There's a Kirsty Rocket near me. You know what I mean?
Yes. Kirsty with the rocket.
Chung. Yeah, doesn't do anything. Chung is crap. It doesn't work for anything.
Well, he's going to work a little bit harder.
Right. So this is my logo for those watching on YouTube. So this was not even my very first one. I don't even have my very first one that I tried to do myself using Photoshop. This is the first one I paid for.
Oh.
Yeah, so I paid about 20 quid for that on people per hour, I think it was.
Oh, right.
And that's what came out of it. And,
wow.
Look at how ecstatic that one was.
What's the dinosaur?
Terrible. Oh, it's just like how crap it is. Yeah.
That's not part of the logo.
Showing how it's evolved, basically. Right. So, like the prehistoric, like
I thought it was part of the logo.
No. Sorry, right, I'll get rid of this stuff. So, like I said, this is all part of the slides from the last workshop I did. But so this is the next evolution of it, which is slightly better, but it's still a little bit.
Doesn't tell me much about you.
No, it doesn't, does it? And then like this one's, I don't know if it's any better at all, actually.
It still doesn't tell me anything about you. It looks a bit more classic and editorial, like,
And interestingly, when I had my existential crisis earlier this year, I almost went back to a logo like this.
Oh.
But then I decided, no, I'm going to keep with my current one.
I like your current one. It's got a bit more personality, some colour.
This is the one that Anna Rigby, who's also been on one of my early podcasts, did. And, you can just see what you get when you pay it, basically. So that was like 20 quid, and that was like, well, not just the logo, but as part of the whole branding thing, that cost me like a good couple of grand, that did. So,
but someone's put those fonts together to work in a certain way. Like, for example, so I'm working with a wedding photographer at the moment on his website, Nick, and we're working with Claire, my branding graphic designer, and she has taken a font and turned it into something just like yours. She's turned it into something different with his name. She then sent me the font to use with the website, and it's not really like the logo because she's molded it in such a way that works as a logo. I couldn't make it. I wouldn't know where to begin. She's gone into Adobe Illustrator or whatever, and she's moved this font around. And I couldn't do that but I've you know,
And it's similar. This font is kind of similar, but not identical to the heading font that I've been given. And you know, it's similar, but so it doesn't look wrong. But at the same time,
it matches, but it's
you couldn't do a whole website with it. It just look completely different, basically.
Yeah, so it's made into. So basically, what we're saying is, websites are great because you can have a logo. I don't know.
We kind of just went off a tangent there, which I think is going to be the
DIYing is what we were talking about, wasn't it? DIYing your website, DIYing.
You get what you pay for. I think that's what we're trying to say. You get what you pay for.
You get what you pay for, and if you DIY it, you might end up with your, you know.
We tell customers all this all the time, don't we? You know, don't cheap out. You know, and then like when we come to do websites, it's like I'll do it myself.
Yeah. Thing is, it's not even cheap to do it yourself. You still have to pay for loads of stuff. Like, for example, so I've got Divi, which I build on. So basically, I use WordPress, and within WordPress, you have a builder to make it much easier to build. So I use Divi because I like it, and because my clients can then go and edit stuff themselves super easily. Divi was like 500 quid or something. So if you built your own website, you'd have to pay the 500 quid to use Divi. I've got an unlimited license.
Yeah.
So all my clients get Divi automatically for free. So you're already spending 500 quid on, or however much it is now, on your builder. Do you know what I mean? So you're already spending loads of money, even if you DIY, and then you've got to learn how to use it. And
I think I mean, you can use stuff like Squarespace and Wix, but generally they're more than hosting of a WordPress website, and you're locked in forever. You know, so if it's like deal with 36 quid a month for Squarespace, I think it is, or something like last time I looked, it's not cheap. And you're having to pay that all the time. Whereas you can easily find a website host for like 10 quid or something if you wanted to, depending on, you know, what, again, there's different website hosts you can go.
A month you're talking off.
Yeah. So like, so you can sort of save money there, which over the course of several years, you can sort of get
adds up, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Definitely.
I mean, don't get me started on Squarespace.
Oh, go on, get you started on Squarespace.
You have to function by design, or design by function, or something is how I see it. Like, if you want, you tell Squarespace, this is what my heading font is. So if you want anything else on your website to have that font and that size and that color, it has to be that heading. It can't just be normal text. So you have quotes, big quote marks, testimonials or whatever, and you want it to be big and bold and colourful, looking just like your headings, but you can't say in the back end, this is just normal text, paragraph text. It has to be a heading. So now you're telling Google, this is an important heading, when actually it's just a bunch of random loads and loads of text, which Google's going to be like, I don't even know what to do with this. Like, you have to, with WordPress, I find this really hard to explain, but with WordPress, you know what I'm talking about, Martin, maybe you can help me.
No, I do. It's very limiting.
So with WordPress, you can say, this is just paragraph text, but I want this paragraph text to be big, bold, blue, caps, whatever. You can tell it, I want that. So you're telling Google, this is just a paragraph, don't worry about it. But you're telling the viewer, it looks like this. Whereas with Squarespace, you're saying, hey, it looks really pretty, but you're also telling Google, this is a really important sentence, when it's actually not. So Google's like, what's important? That's my biggest peeve.
Yeah, I tried to use it earlier this year. My son was trying to build a website, and I looked into Squarespace for him because they could do the store side was so much easier than trying to do Shopify. I really couldn't be bothered with setting up Shopify. So I went into Squarespace and we tried it, and I think I lasted about an hour, and I was just like, you know what, I can't do this very simple thing.
I know, yes. Very simple things. So I also had a client who was already on Squarespace, and she wanted her new website on Squarespace. So I was like, I'll do it. I can do that. Like, let's do our best. And she wanted more and more cool stuff, like not even outrageous stuff, just nice design. She wanted these things to happen. And I was like, that's not happening on Squarespace. I literally can't do it. This is what it's going to look like. I'm really sorry. She was like, suck it off, take me to WordPress. And I built it exactly how she wanted it on WordPress, because I can do exactly what I want on WordPress.
This episode is sponsored by Squarespace.
They're not.
Or not anymore.
WordPress is free, so it's like I'm not even promoting anything. WordPress is literally free. It's just so much better.
Yeah. Right. So basically, I think we've done that one. What are the other reasons why people should have a website, do you think?
Okay, so I mean, the whole thing came from these brides saying that you don't need a website and that Instagram is all you need.
Yeah.
And for me, that's like, they're forgetting that Instagram is a marketing tool, but the website is the conversion tool. Like, you can get found on Instagram, but you're not going to get booked on Instagram. They can't find all your prices. They can't see your brand. They can't see much about you or anything like that, they can only see your photos. So you need the website to take them to then convert. And that conversion consists of, you know, seeing your brand, seeing the photos in the order that you want those people to see them in, like best first, not latest first. You want them to be able to travel through the website and see all your prices, see what you're about, how you work, what kind of branding you've got. Like it's just such vastly different things at different like purposes.
Yeah.
But it's
Different
not an either
experience, isn't
or.
it? Yeah. It's different. It's a completely different experience.
It is, yeah. It's like you need both of them together. If you just had an Instagram, you wouldn't be able to put any information out there for people. You can't put, you know, any sort of how you work, prices, all that sort of stuff. You can't put your photos in the order that you want them to be seen in. You can't put how to book, any of that stuff on there. And you can't put your brand on there. You can't have, you know, all those things. So actually, I love that this morning when Martin and I were on the Kick-Ass Photographers Zoom with like, was it like 12 of us photographers all chatting? We were looking at someone's website. I won't name who. They were very good. Their brand was strong. But we were looking at their website and the brand was like in your face. You knew exactly what they were about. They were so cool. Like all the branding was cool. The photos of them were cool. The way it was laid out was cool. Everything was like, this is an awesome photography brand. Like, I want them. You look at the photos on their own, not surrounded by the brand, and we were like, they're good, but they're not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone could do them. And they didn't match the brand.
Yeah.
On their own, they didn't match the brand.
And as soon as you went onto the website, you could tell that these were premium photographers. I think when you looked at their prices, I think they started at 3.2.
Yeah, 3.5.
So something like that, 3.5, 3.2. So very, very expensive. Is that fair to say? I think it's fair to say nowadays.
Yeah.
In the UK, that's a very higher end sort of price, isn't it?
Yeah.
And like we say, the photos on their own, stood up on their own, I think you'd be hard pressed to sort of justify that on its own. But roll it together with all the branding and stuff, hell, they look so cool. You know, they're the sort
you
of
see the
people
photos in a different light.
Yeah.
What's that?
They're the sort of people you want to see at your website, on your wedding.
On your wedding.
Yeah,
exactly.
sorry. Yeah.
And you want to be those people
exactly.
on their website.
Yeah.
But on their own, the photos they were normal looking couples in normal looking weddings and normal looking photos. The brand was like, wow, alternative rock and roll.
Exactly.
Put them together and you think, rock and roll couples, that's me.
Inviting the cool kids to your wedding, you know what I mean?
Yes.
The popular cool kids.
Exactly. But if you had just Instagram, you're only looking at the photos.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're like, why are they £3,500 or £3,200? Why? Like they look like, not in a bad way, but they look like everyone else.
Yeah, I agree. And as soon as you start looking like everyone else, what do you differentiate yourself by?
Yeah,
People
exactly.
start trying to differentiate you by price.
So you have to be cheaper. Because how can you command £3,500? Let's say 35 for argument's sake. How can you command £3,500?
Yeah.
With nothing else to go on but the photos? When
Martin Chung will do you for half the price.
Yeah. And your photos are just as good. Like,
Better.
I don't want to say better. We haven't named anyone. I can say they're better. You're better.
I'm only kidding. Yeah, I'm only kidding. Yeah, but no, and I said this, I think there's very few people now who genuinely, on the strength of their photography, stand out. There are some, the world sort of class photographers.
But only photographers recognise that.
Exactly. And if otherwise, and arguably, I don't think most couples care. You know what I mean? How many couples are Googling best wedding photographer in the world?
No, they just want to see photos that they can imagine themselves in that look really good, look gorgeous, And, we all pretty much do that. So you're then thinking, who am I inviting to my wedding? Who is this person? Are they on the same page as me? Will they fit in with me and my friends? Are they cool? Are they not cool? Are they nerdy? Like, how do we want them to fit in? And so that is your website that you can have your about page. You can have photos of yourself. You can have branding, like you can have rock and roll tattoo branding. You can have like cute flowery pink branding or whatever you want to then give that couple the idea of what kind of person you are to compare you to the other photographer photos look the same.
Yeah, and it's all about niching, isn't it? Like those people obviously projected a very rock and roll alternative sort of vibe. So if that's your vibe, then they are going to be incredibly attractive to you. But then if you go the other end with the luxury editorial black tie London style weddings, those sort of websites give off a completely different vibe. And again, it's very difficult on Instagram just to show that because you all look the same. I'm not saying Instagram's not a big thing. Looking earlier today, I think that I've got a fair chunk of weddings this year through Instagram. But
But they find you through Instagram. They don't book you through Instagram.
Yeah.
They make the
website was there to support them getting in touch, and or, they see me on Instagram, like you said, go to a website, see some more, read about what I do, and then eventually go, right, I like him, I'll get in touch.
Exactly. Yeah.
Cool. And any other reasons why people need a goddamn good website?
Well, I made some notes. Let me look at my notes. I have some things. Okay, so like a big one for me. So something I really hate about Instagram. So we were talking earlier about how on a website you can curate the order people see your photos. So you can have your best photo first, like great first impression, and then the next best photos next. You want them to see the photos in a certain order. Whereas on Instagram, it's just your latest are at the top. It may not be your best. And then you said you can pin photos. And I was like, I really hate pinned photos because you go to the first one and you're like, you don't realize it's pinned. You go to it and you're like, they haven't posted for 5 years. I know about pinned posts. I know about it. And I still think that every time, like, whoa, where have they been? And you have to go through 3 whole different posts before you then find one with current date. And then you're like, oh, okay, they are current. But my first impression is always, where are they?
People used to use highlights, didn't they? Which were like pinned stories, but they seem to have died death now. No one seems to do that.
They've apparently been moved into reels within the grid.
Oh, have they? I don't know.
For some people.
Yeah. I just took it off because ages ago Adam Lowndes suggested we take it off, and I was like, "Oh, fine, I'll do what Adam does."
Yeah, because it like takes up lots of prime real estate on the
exactly.
phone,
That was the logic behind it. Yeah. So I took it off, and now I've just realised I don't see anybody have those anymore.
Oh no, I think I might. I'm not sure.
Oh dear, I don't know. Maybe.
Let me have a look. I have no idea. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think the other thing on the portfolio, I completely agree. You can sort of order it, and I think it's so important to have like your strongest images first. So you sort of like, strongest in terms of attracting your ideal client, so those should be first. But I think one of the biggest bugbears of mine is when I go to a photographer's website and their portfolio is just 100 photos just thrown onto the portfolio in a grid and go, there you go. And I'm like, ugh, I'm scrolling. I'm bored now. Back. I'm off.
Yeah.
So my point is, if anyone listening, if that's you, slash your number of photos. You just can't maintain quality with 100 and odd photos.
And that's the thing, Instagram has got hundreds and hundreds, doesn't it? Like, when does it end?
Yes, that's true. But
you can't do a call to action on Instagram. You can't be like, you've seen 50 photos, now get in touch. Like,
not for that. But I am playing with something. But I'm not. I'll keep that under wraps for now. I'm playing with something, and hopefully, if it works, it'll be a cool thing to do. But what was I going to say?
Interesting.
I can't remember now. I've completely lost my train of thought.
Well, we were saying about like curating your portfolios, having a best of, and it's like also like some of your photos get hidden behind carousel pictures. So when you're scrolling the grid, you'll miss half the pictures anyway. And and also you can't like blogging. You can have one venue in one page. You can look at one venue pictures in one place. On Instagram, you can't be like, oh, what's this photographer done at Brighton Town Hall? You'd have to scroll through. I often do this. I'm trying to find one venue from one photographer. I have to keep going through and trying to find different posts from that venue to see how they shoot it. Yep. Whereas if you go to their website, you can go to the blog post and be like, that's what they look like in Brighton Town Hall. Like,
yeah, I completely agree. I just remembered actually. It was basically. I've lost it again. Oh, for God's sakes, what's my? Oh yeah, that's right. I was going to say, when does it end on the Instagram? I've started to archive some photos now. When I don't want them anymore, I go and archive them. But another point I thought of, which I hope I don't forget, another big reason why I think websites are important is you can't get found on Instagram, on Google, or nowadays, more and more important, ChatGPT.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say.
If all you've got is Instagram.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You can't getting found for your homepage for for example, Brighton wedding photographer. You need that, if someone's looking on Google, you're not going to get found if you don't have a website. Blogging, like having blog posts for each of your venues, that's such an easy way to get found. It's such low-hanging fruit. And if you don't have a website,
and
it's massive.
Nowadays, and I might as well labour this point, because AI, ChatGPT is synonymous, I guess, is so clever, it sort of learns what sort of photographer you are, and it recommends, because I know you've said before you've been found by someone who's typing into ChatGPT, and we got our first booking yesterday. through someone on ChatGPT.
Oh my God.
They literally just, apparently they was like, when we're getting married here, we want someone in the local area who can do both photos and video, and it spat out some things. They went and found the website, looked through it. We like it. They literally emailed us in the morning, booked a meeting in the afternoon, and after the meeting, 30 minutes, they just booked. And they were like,
amazing.
And I was like, wow. There was no quibbling on price. There was no sort of like, oh, it's a bit expensive. It was just, I was like, long may ChatGPT continue if this is what inquiries are sending us.
You've put what you're about out there, and it has said back to that couple that this person's all about what you're looking for.
Exactly. Yeah. So if you've got a specific niche, then ChatGPT, hopefully, if you've got enough blog posts and you're clear enough on your website, it'll learn the sort of photographer you are. And if someone's looking for that, hopefully it'll spit out your name above Joe Blogs down the road.
That's why I've always, like, my whole time I've been doing like kick-ass photographers and like workshops and stuff, I've always been about the ideal client. So if you know who your ideal client is and you put that all over your website, your ideal client will go into ChatGPT and say, this is who we are and this is what we want. Who you got for me? And it'll be like, boom, here's your perfect photographer. What you've said is exactly what they've said. So knowing exactly who that person is helps so much, because that person is now targeting you in their searches. And so the more like strong you are about who that person is and like what you do and who you are, the more likely ChatGPT or whatever is going to be like, this is obviously the person for you.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is with ChatGPT, as you're using it, it learns more and more about you.
Yeah.
So you don't always even have to tell it explicitly. It knows. So that's another thing as well. It is so clever. Like, you can tell ChatGPT, like Sovan said to me the other day, he asked ChatGPT but based on everything what superhero would you be? So I asked ChatGPT the same, and I was like, oh my God, it is uncannily accurate. I'm going to do a reel on that, actually, because I thought it was so clever.
Did you hear? I've read this thing on Reddit the other day. I think it's about Gemini. Well, is Gemini something that you could?
Yeah, it's the Google version of it. I don't really use it. I don't know why.
No, well, they were saying what they did on Gemini. They used it for all sorts of different things, and then they said, I want to know how to, do X, Y, Z to my house or whatever. And the day before, they'd said they wanted to do a recipe. So they went through all the, stuff to do to their house, and Gemini was like, now you do this, now you do that. And at the end of it, Gemini went, and so did you get all your things for your recipe yesterday? Did you enjoy your meal? And it was like, it's like having a friend remind you about things you were going to do.
That's crazy, isn't it?
It's absolutely insane. There was like no prompting. It just asked them how they were doing on their thing from yesterday.
Yeah. And I know this is going off the tangent slightly about websites, but I have started using ChatGPT for so much stuff in my business.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It is uncannily, some of the stuff that I'm doing that I think will pay off in about 12 months' time. I'm like, wow.
Very interesting.
Yeah, it's very good. It's very
I want to quiz you on that later.
Yeah, quiz me on that later. It's going off the subject. So, sorry. Yeah. So, yeah. Very good.
Also, so like, there's a bunch of other things that like I wanted to talk about, like with websites. What we were talking about earlier is the fact that Instagram can ban you at any time.
Yeah, absolutely. You're playing in someone else's garden.
Bam, gone. Yeah, exactly. Don't like what you've done, you're out.
Yeah,
business is over.
Who was it now? It was my friend Kian, a videographer. Earlier this year, he got hacked. And he is very, very IT literate. He's very security conscious. He had his 2-factor authentication set up. He had his strong password, blah, 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 blah. He got hacked. He lost his account for about 3 months.
Oh, my God.
Had to threaten to sue them and everything to try and get it back. And he'd paid for his £10 a month blue tick.
Oh.
Nothing. Wouldn't do anything.
Oh my God.
They wouldn't
so, like, I know that people might be listening and thinking, well, websites can get hacked too, but you're not at the mercy of the Instagram gods trying to get it back. You can just fix it yourself. You can get a tech person who will log in,
exactly,
get rid of whatever viral thing's been put in there and set you live again. You don't have to beg. I lost my Google business profile earlier this year, and it's gone because there's no one I can ask about it. There's no one to talk to. Yeah. There is no appeals process where I could be like, this is what happened. Please put me back. No one. I was in a loop. I couldn't get out of it. I never got it back. I never got it. I had to...
That's a good point. A friend of mine earlier this year came to me and his website got hacked and it was awful.
Mine has been a couple of times.
Yeah, and it took me like best part of a day, but managed to sort of like sort it out. And now I host it for him and sort of look after all the security, so he doesn't have to worry about that anymore. Because most people aren't literate on it. They don't understand. Just like I've signed up to the blue tick. I've got the 2-factor authentication. I'm still getting hacked. What the hell?
Yeah.
You know what
exactly.
I mean?
You're at the mercy of a giant company that doesn't care about you.
And also, the way Mark Zuckerberg works is, if you think about how Facebook used to be so brilliant, going back 10 years, just threw a photo on Facebook and watched the inquiries roll in, didn't we? Here's great. And that died a death, didn't it? And Instagram, if you wind back 5 years ago, it was the same. Chucked a photo on there, watched the inquiries come in.
And I feel like, obviously, like TikTok's where it's at now, but I feel like a lot, if not most, photographers are like, ugh, can't bother doing TikTok. And also TikTok is like, it's a whole different beast to learn. So, and it'll die, that'll die as well. We have to learn new.
It always changes, doesn't it? But I think a good website,
it's always going to...
Having a website, that won't change, because I think people, like I said earlier, people expect you to have one. It's like a phone. What do you mean you don't have a phone? What sort of business are you that doesn't have a phone? How am I going to call you? I might not call you, but I still want to have a phone. I think it's the same. Website. People will go, what's your website? And
exactly. And it's also just more legit having a website. Like, anyone could start an Instagram. Anyone could buy followers. I once, oh my God, this was a long time ago, but there was this like wedding photography educator. And his advice was to start an Instagram about puppies, dogs, whatever, things in the local area that everyone would follow. Like just repost other people's pictures of the dogs, viral videos, just repost, get your followers, like 10,000, 20,000 followers, flip it into a wedding photography Instagram. You've got all your followers. It looks really good.
So sneaky. I kind of respect that, but at the same time, I don't agree with it.
Firstly, I don't agree with it for like in every single way. But secondly, your reach is going to be zero.
Yeah.
Like, none of those people are going to be interested in wedding.
People don't want to see it. They're not following you for that.
No, so you're going to get 0 likes, which means you're not going to hit any algorithms. You're screwed. Like, there's so much wrong with it, but you can do that.
I saw someone's Instagram last week, and I can't remember who it was. I genuinely can't. And again, you looked at their Instagram followers, and you're like, this guy should have like, he's got like tens of thousands of followers. And then you look at the actual each photo he's posted, like 10, 20 likes, and I'm like, you've clearly done something dodgy, because based on the number of followers, you should have like way more likes and engagement.
So there's no trust there. You've already got no
literally
trust
like
there.
10 likes and no comments, and that's not normal on a legit account. So
no, exactly. I'd rather have like 100 followers, but then get 100 likes. That it's super relevant then. And that, 100 people liking following you who are completely relevant is a lot of people.
Well, the point is that when you're playing in someone else's backyard, you got to play by their rules. They can change the rules at any time, and you sort of like not really got a leg to stand on. Like when Instagram said, "Oh, we're going to switch to videos." Remember that? And all the photographers kicked off and went, "No, we want photos." And then they came back and went, "Yeah, okay, fine."
But there's nothing you can do.
No, nothing you can do. And I still think I see way more reels than I see photos.
But it's turned us into content creators. The fact that people
tell me about it.
But that's what I mean. Like, if we didn't have a website and you only had Instagram and you had to do videos, you'd be like, well, I can't do photography anymore. I have to do video. I'm going to have to do content creation. I'm going to have to change my whole business because Instagram just isn't showing my business.
It takes so much time to do videos, doesn't it? It takes so much time. Yeah, like the last reel I did literally took me hours, because it's not just the filming bit. You've got to edit it afterwards, but not just the filming and editing. I've got to tidy the room up first, plan it out, make sure the cats aren't in the way, then put the cat in the way when I want him there. And it's just like, it takes forever.
I think the cat's a selling point personally, but...
Well, I was hoping so, but then you stick it online and someone will just scroll straight past it and go, no, not like that. And you're like, put hours into that.
You've got to do, like, you did your fun gym videos. That's what people want, is like stupid viral stuff that makes them laugh. Like, that's what everyone wants.
Yeah, exactly. But then you've got to think about it all the time. You're constantly thinking,
it's exhausting.
How can I do this as a reel? And and that's why.
Whereas with the website, it's for plug and play. You do a few blog posts, they just last for years and years. I get found for stuff I did 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Like, you don't have to worry about it every day. Just let it sit. And the longer you have a website as well, the better it's going to do on Google. And you're not even doing anything except for let time pass.
And I think it's much easier to show, and I think you touched on it, to show that you're an expert at a particular venue, for example.
Yeah.
If you've structured your website pages correctly. So I've got like a venue page, and then within the venue page, I've written all about it, chuck loads of photos on it, but then I've even broken it down by season. You know, if you want to see a summer wedding at this venue, click here. If you want to see a mixed wedding at this, so automatically, like mine looks like he's been here a lot. He looks like he knows what he's doing, which is important to couples.
Yeah.
Couples want to know that you've been and shot at their venue.
Yeah. And see what it looks like, see how you see it. You're being so helpful showing them,
We know it doesn't make a huge difference.
No, but
couples
they
do.
think so. Yeah.
Couples love it.
Exactly. So I've got in my footer, I've got all the venues I've shot at, all the ones I want to shoot again. Because having it come up on every page tells Google this is super important. Like having it on the home page or the footer is like, yes, this is, you know.
Whereas on Instagram, it's everywhere, isn't it? It's everywhere on Instagram. I was like, I've shot one here, I've shot one there.
You just don't know.
It's everywhere. Yeah. And
because it's only on Instagram, you can just post one picture. It could be a styled shoot for all we know. Like we don't even know if it's a proper wedding. Like at least on a blog post, you can see loads of different photos and several different occasions at that venue. So it's basically more legit, isn't it? More trustworthy.
And as we're forced to keep posting to keep up with the algorithm and stuff, like I said with the portfolio, you can't maintain quality. You simply can't. I can't see how anybody can, hand on heart, say I've got all my strongest photos on Instagram and no fluff. Because I just don't think you can do it, because you sort of like, I've not posted for 2 weeks. I'm going to have to throw something on. What I forgot.
Exactly.
And it just blends into nothingness. It looks the same for everyone.
It does. It's also so easy for someone to go back to another photographer, forward to another photographer, click here, click there, and they've gone from you so quickly that they don't even know whose profile they're on anymore. Like, do you know what I mean? Like just clicking through Instagram. Yeah.
And that's one thing that I don't know what you think about this, but on your website, Instagram footers, yay or nay?
Oh, I'm in two minds about them. For one, it's like it's showing more legitimacy. Like I'm in more than one place, and here's some other ways you can see me. Follow me. Also, getting followed is good, because if they're not ready to book or get in touch, if they follow you on Instagram, you're going to show up in front of them more often. So I think that's good to have that obvious. At the same time, you don't want to lose them to Instagram. You don't want, I would say, open in a new tab, which I guess Instagram would open in its app. So yeah, why? What do you think of them?
I hate them.
Why?
Because it removes the conversion. I've just sent them to Instagram.
But like I say, if they're not ready yet, they can follow you and see you come up.
I want to lead them to my contact page. There's my contact page. I want your email. That's my sole job of a website is to convert. And I'm like, right. Yeah.
But not everyone's to Instagram. Not everyone's ready.
But I want to funnel them. Do you know what I mean? I've got Instagram links, but I don't want a giant thing at the bottom going, hey, go to Instagram. That's my logic.
I think there's pros and cons.
Yeah.
There's pros and cons to it. Yeah. Also, talking of which, you can't track someone as well on Instagram. Like on the website, you can track how far down the page they go, which photos they seem to like, which blog posts they're reading, how fast they're going through it, which ones they pause on your portfolio to look at, what page they go before they go to your contact form, like which one do they go to after the homepage, which buttons are they clicking. You can watch all that stuff. I use Mouseflow. There's also like Google Analytics and stuff. Like you can learn so much. And the amount of times I've gone on Mouseflow and gone, oh, no one's going to that one. Okay, I need to change that. Or like everyone's dropping off here. Whoops, I need to change that. So you can make someone convert much easier than like being beholden to the Instagram gods.
Yeah, no, I used to use Hotjar. I've not used it for a long time, but I thought it was similar. And it was fascinating.
I love
watching people navigate. Yeah. And what I thought was immediately obvious, people were just getting so confused. And I was like, oh my God, why are they clicking on that? Why are they clicking on it? And then I realized because it wasn't clear enough what I should be clicking on. So then I put a button there. Now click on this. And just little things like that just help your conversion so much.
Exactly. And it's that like experience that you and I have had of watching all these things that we can now put into our clients' websites and be like, I know where this button needs to go.
Exactly.
I know what it needs to, where it needs to be and where it needs to link to. And
so it's just like, and I know you said you have your favorite venues at the bottom, and I've got like a footer, but I've removed it from my homepage because I want, when people get to the bottom of my homepage, there's two buttons. Where do you want to go? That's it. And those are your choices. If you want to go somewhere else, it's effort.
Do you find people get to the bottom of your homepage? Because my foot is more for like Google showing it like
Yeah, exactly.
loads of
That's why it's
important
not
things.
there. So they get to the bottom of my website and there's two buttons. Do you want to go to see my portfolio or do you want to get in touch? Which one do you want? Yeah, that's it. Those are your choices. If you want to go somewhere else, you're going to have to start using your thumbs.
Oh dear. I love how we've got like different views on things. This is interesting.
Yeah. Yours is a bit more like, yeah, do people have different ideas? I'm like, I want you to do this. God damn you. And nothing else.
I'm like, you do you.
Yeah. I'm like, I want your details now. Give me your money. In fact, I'm just going to replace it. I'm going to have the credit card thing at the bottom. That'll be it.
I've added that to my booking form now, a credit card thing for the deposit, because like so many people are like, I don't have £500 right now, but then they're like, oh, I've got it on my credit card, and they can just fill it in. You know, when you buy something on any website, you just fill in your bank details. It auto fills your bank details.
Yeah, but not on your contact page.
No, on the booking form. So
Oh, right, okay.
you're talking about like, you're talking about Philly, give me your money.
Yeah.
I tried to make. I'm just yeah.
Oh,
I've done
okay.
a little bit from the topic.
Yeah, no. I do take credit or debit card. I don't care which one it is, as long as the numbers work. Then then I don't care whether they have to pay it off.
Give me the money.
Yeah, exactly. That's not my problem. Although I didn't realise that I allowed on Stripe you can pick credit, debit, or I think Klarna.
Oh,
So I thought, I don't care. You know, as long as I get the deposit, I don't care. What I didn't realise is if you click Klarna, they take a bigger chunk.
oh, did they?
Yeah, they take a bigger chunk. So I was like, bollocks! I've lost a big chunk of that because.
And also, you'd only get it in like,
Klarna.
wouldn't you only get it in bits as well?
No, it was just for the deposit. So I still got the payment,
Oh,
but they took a bigger chunk of the fees.
oh.
So I was
Well,
like,
you don't think of as a user, is it? You don't think of that.
as a user, it's the same, innit? I'm still paying, £300 deposit, whatever it is. But now I get the flexibility of splitting that. But as a supplier, instead of like, I don't know, £5 or something, it was like now a £10 or something. I was like, been robbed.
Damn.
So I've took that off now.
Also, to make a good point here, you can't do that on Instagram. You can't put a booking form and payment stuff on Instagram.
That is true. Yeah.
So you'd have to go through the faff of like messaging someone your bank details, and like how illegitimate does that look? If someone Instagram messaged you bank details, are you going to give them your money? I don't think so.
It doesn't look as professional, does it?
No, and like having a booking form, what are you going to send them? Like a Word document? Do you know what I mean? Like, just
And like once they've like filled in my contact form, I have now a little dedicated page that they then go to, which has more details and like a little video from me saying thanks, and then like a thing at the bottom so they can book a meeting if they want to book a meeting straight away without me even replying to them. All that sort of stuff, like you said, you can't do. I'd have to be glued to Instagram as soon as that DM comes in.
yeah.
And be replying to them, whereas all that sort of like done fairly
Exactly.
semi-automatically for me.
I think we're probably preaching to the choir here, because I don't think there's any wedding photographers who are like, I don't need a website, I'm just going to go on Instagram. We're just literally retaliating to,
Not retaliating. I think we're just pointing out some of the pros and some of the different things we still do that help, to help photographers make their websites even better. Because there are still, frankly, there are still some photographers out there whose websites are pretty poor.
Oh yeah, and you've got to stand out. You've got to do better. There's so many good ones. You've got to just do better, haven't you?
And it's a bit like, and I describe it like this: like I remember being at a wedding fair and a supplier coming up and go, when all the suppliers come up and they go, "Oh, let's just take a photo of your stand." And I remember being so embarrassed that I was like, "No, don't take them, don't." And then it made me realise, if I'm ashamed of it and I'm at the wedding fair with my stand, how must that look to customers coming through?
Yeah.
And I would say it's the same thing with your website. If you're the sort of photographer who's like, oh my God, go to my Instagram because you don't want to be looking at my website.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a good time to find someone to give you a new website.
Exactly. And it's the sort of clients you're going to get as well. Like if you have a really crappy looking website, you're going to get kind of crappy clients, right? Because they're just not going to care.
Yeah. There's going to be a brand disconnect. You're sort of showing, look at my amazing photos, look at how great I am, and then they go to your website and it looks like something, looks like Sports Direct. It's like, it's just a jumble sale, mate.
And you're going to get a certain kind of booking then, aren't you? Certain kinds of weddings that you've already I don't know. We were talking about this morning on the Zoom, weren't we? Like certain kinds of weddings when you're like a lot cheaper or you've got like not a very good brand, you're going to get weddings that you're really not going to enjoy. like, they're going to be hard work. You're not going to like doing it because, you know, the venue's falling apart.
Yeah, it's also not always about cheap or not cheap, but like you said about your ideal client. So if you're the alternative rock and roll kind of photographer, you're going to be like a fish out of water at a high-end London wedding where everyone's in black tie. You're not going to feel like you belong there. That's going to impact your ability to do work, and vice versa.
Yeah.
You know, if you're the editorial, direct flash, blurry photo that only shoots in London, stick you in the Cotswolds in a barn with a rock and roll tattooed bride and groom, you're going to be like, oh,
yeah,
what do I do?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? It's going to throw you.
So the brand has such a massive impact on that, doesn't it? Like, how you present yourself has such a huge impact on what kind of clients you get. Like, most of my clients are sort of, you know, relaxed, colourful, bit silly, nerdy. I get a lot of nerdy couples. They're all like that. I don't do the high-end weddings. I don't do the fashionable.
And you can see that as soon as you go onto your website, what's person you're trying to attract. And it's not, and I always say this, just because we want to have an ideal type of client doesn't mean you only shoot your ideal clients.
No.
Do you know what I mean? That, you know, if someone comes along and they're decent people, you know, they like you, they're willing to pay for you, I'll still shoot the wedding. I'll still put 100% in.
But generally, your net is wider than the one you're putting out there, but you're not going to get the ones outside the net. You know, if I'm putting my thing out there for like alternative colourful couples, I'm going to get that plus, you know, maybe the sort of slightly left. But I'm definitely not going to get the ones that want super gorgeous editorial.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because those, you should almost repel them, your brand.
I do. I think I do.
Yeah. No, I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that, is it?
No, 100%. 100% you should be repelling those.
Yeah, if you know what you like and don't like, you shouldn't be attracting people you don't like.
Well, then that's
type,
like, you want,
not the people, the type of people. Yeah.
Type of people. Yes, exactly. You want them to come to your website and be like, that's a bit of me. I see myself in these photos. I see myself in this brand. This brand is speaking to me. These people, this photographer speaking to me.
Yeah.
And they're more likely to book rather than like, I don't really know what they're about, but they're cheap.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you need to be about something, don't you?
Like the couple yesterday who found us through ChatGPT, every question the groom was asking, I was thinking, he is asking the exact sort of questions I want my bride and groom to be asking. You know, I've been to this wedding and the photographer gave me a flash to hold, and I was, you know, holding it and pointing it at the couple, and we must have been there 20-25 minutes, no word of a lie. I could hear the music going, and I just wanted to go back to the party. So how long do you take? And, you know, I was like, oh, this is music to my ears. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, this photographer used off-camera flash and he was stood there for considerable ages. And I was like, no, mate, you know, don't do that. And blah, blah, blah. And I was like, this is ideal client territory.
Interesting. I have the exact same story in such a different way. So I shot a wedding and we did the portraits like in this like spiral staircase indoors really late at night. They were drunk. And I needed one of their friends to hold the flash for me. Mm-hmm. So exactly the same situation as this guest, except we had such a riot. Like the guest holding the flash had the biggest laugh. She was so enjoying herself doing this, and they were enjoying her being silly with it, and they were being silly. And we all just had such a laugh being stupid and silly with straight. She hid in a bush. She flashed it in her own face. We were just having such a laugh. And you know that they're going to go back and be like, you won't believe what I've just gone and done. It was hilarious. And everyone missed out. So it's actually kind of the same, but opposite. So my ideal client just fools around. They're silly and I allow that and they allow that and it works. So it's the same thing, but like very...
I don't think the two are mutually exclusive. I think mine, you know, like he said, I'm more than happy for photos, but I just don't want to be away from the guest for ages.
Yeah.
You know, and I think, you know, that's where probably the difference was. And I don't know how long you guys were away for, but...
Not long.
Yeah, exactly. So I think, you know, they were up for good photos. They were up for doing stuff, but their priority was being with their guests, which I respect. And I get a lot of people coming to me saying that. So, you know, it gives...
Yeah, it's all about your... Putting it on your website and being like, this is how I work. They're going to search that and be like, yep, great, that's the photographer I want, because they're not going to take me away for ages.
Yeah, exactly. And it's easier for me to be very, very clear on my website. This is what I do. You know, with Instagram, they can see a photo, but then they'd have to read the post. And who does that?
And even the post doesn't even tell you how you did the shot and how you work on a wedding. Maybe we should do more posts like that. Maybe we should be posting about how we work. Probably should, shouldn't we?
I don't know. Maybe we should. You're right. But would people actually read it? I don't know nowadays. Do people read the captions on posts?
You have to be really good at storytelling and make them to read it. And most people are not.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess I almost think nowadays it's probably more like we should be creating a reel that does that, not type. Yeah.
Yeah.
We should. What should we? We should
more
be
work.
dancing on. This is what.
Dance and point at you. Pointing your prices.
I bet, you know what? I bet that would work. I bet that would work really well. Like prices from, hi,
Oh my God.
hey, documentary, wedding, photographer. I bet that would go viral as well. I bet if I just put my prices on, people were like, next.
Oh, I want to do a stupid video now. You can't put your actual prices on there because then you can't change it.
You'd have to redo a video.
It's stuck forever.
Video.
Yeah. Stuck forever.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's another thing as well. Yeah, I don't have my prices on my website, and I send them a link with the prices on. So I guess I could still do that through Instagram. But then I'm sending a website link.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I don't want my prices on my website because not that it changes per se, but it just it gives me the option. It gives me options basically.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a whole debate.
Yeah. Prices on or off. We could spend all day on that. Yeah. The next topic. Do we feed our wedding photographers?
Oh God.
3 hours later. So what other tips have you got for people who might want to improve their website? Because I dare say most people have got a website.
Ooh, not too many calls to action, but the right ones in the right places. Having something about yourself, like a picture of yourself and have it clear what your name is. Like basic things like that. Basic things like your location. Some people don't put their location. I'm like, literally, where in the world are you?
Yes. When I was helping my daughter look for a wedding photographer and she would send me links, and the amount of times I was like, I don't know where this photographer is.
No.
Where is this photographer?
Exactly.
You don't have to have it plastered all over your website, but just like
somewhere.
Hi, I'm Martin and I'm based in Nottingham. That's all you need, isn't it?
Yeah. That is the main thing. I'd say if you want to make one improvement to your website, say your name, your location, a nice picture of yourself, and that's like
and not holding a camera. I am sick to death
of your face.
Yeah. I want to see a nice smiley face picture, and I don't want to see you like it's like, the amount of times I've seen her holding a camera shot, I don't know, maybe that's just me. Maybe clients don't care, but for me, it's just like...
I don't know, it's just a bit, it's a bit overdone, isn't it? Everyone's got, we know you're a photographer.
Yeah.
If you're holding a camera, make it be at a wedding when you're shooting it and it's kind of candid.
In context, having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or doing something with it, yeah.
Exactly. Like, I love a natural shot. I would rather see iPhone snaps of a photographer doing their thing, walking the dog, than like superposed, I guess, like branding shots.
Yeah.
I like seeing like real life stuff. Yeah.
Cool.
So that'd be my biggest advice.
Yeah. Anything else, do you think?
Probably as soon as we press stop, I'll think of a million really important things.
I'm just having a quick look at mine now and see what other stuff I've done to sort of like make my website more attractive. One thing I do actually, and I don't know whether it's just me that does it. I try and make sure that, how people nowadays just scroll and they're not really paying that much attention. I want the key bits of information to come up in the big title font, not just the little font. Because if you've given someone 2 paragraphs of text, chances are they're not going to read it, but they'll...
you've got to bold that stuff up.
So my logic is certainly between the homepage and the portfolio page, the key bits of information should be there. So they don't have to read it. And it's a shame that people don't have the... What's the word?
I've done it.
Yeah.
So I've got on my website, I've written, you're not looking
span.
Oh, sorry. Attention span. Yeah, we've got very...
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. I've written, you're not looking for stiff posed photos. You're all about the, in bold, candid images, the fun moments.
Yeah.
Then I've got I take, and in pink, colourful wedding photos. The less like wedding photos, the more like you having the best time. And then I've also done a paragraph on iPhone films, and I've done in pink again the word iPhone film. So they can literally scroll through and they'll see candid images, fun moments, colourful wedding photos, iPhone film.
Brilliant.
Like if they don't read anything else, that's like the highlights, basically, isn't it?
I'd give you a virtual high five, but yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. and I think the last thing, and then I think I'm done as well, is the contact form. And again, this might be a personal bugbear of mine, because when I spoke to Mel, who's my second shooter, she's Gen Z, she didn't think it was a particularly big issue. But, you know, like some people have like really complicated contact forms. And like, you just need enough to get in touch with them and the basics. It's not supposed to be an exam, you know.
Yeah.
You can pass an exam.
You don't want too much.
What's your favourite song? You know, what's your favourite artist? You know, where to grow up? And it's like, no, just give me the venue, give me the date, and give me your email. That's all I really need.
Yeah, that's what I've got. Tell me about your wedding is the only like non-factual bit.
Yeah.
But that's just it's just like a message field, isn't it? Yeah. Tell me about your wedding.
Yeah.
I used to have what song will get you on the dance floor, which always went down really well because I could get a vibe of who they are. Mm-hmm. If they put September by Earth, Wind and Fire, I'm like, I'm afraid I'm not available. I wouldn't really, but I really hate that song. But you can also, it starts a conversation. So if you have a question like that that's really easy to answer and not a asterisk must answer question, then you can really start a conversation and be like, oh my God, that's my favourite song too. Or I saw that band live, or I've got a tattoo of that band. You know, that whatever the question might be, you can then bond with them over that thing, which is again putting you over and above the competition, which so I think is going to be super easy to answer, somewhat relevant as well. And like, what song would get you on the dance floor is relevant for a wedding. And yeah, something that would start a conversation and not a necessary to fill in field as well.
Yeah. And I don't know what do you feel about people who put what's your budget on the contact form?
I feel like that's irrelevant because I charge what I charge. So why are you asking?
I feel it's a bit icky.
But then what if they put something too low and you're like, well, maybe it's like put £500.
But yeah, maybe it would be better in like America or something. I don't know, but
I just don't get the purpose.
It's a bit icky. Like, I feel a bit.
Yeah.
We don't really talk about money in this country. It's like,
well, it's not even that. It's like we charge what we charge, so it's irrelevant asking their budget.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe someone's got an answer for that.
I don't know. Yeah, if you've got an answer, let me know.
Yeah, maybe like what kind of coverage you're looking for. But again, that's what the Zoom is for, to convince them to have more coverage.
Yeah.
So don't get them like pigeonholed into them. Like, if they say like, oh yeah, we only want 6 hours, that's already put that in their head that they only need 6 hours. So it's going to be harder to convince them to book 8, 9, 10 hours if they've already put that. Or if they've put their budget as £1,000, it's going to be harder to convince them to pay £2,000 because they've already put that in their head. So I don't.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of like shorter coverage because it always turns out that they book you for 6 hours and then they always turn out that they need actually 7 or 8. And then you've got to have that awkward conversation, or you've got to stand there at the wedding going, well, it's time for me to go. Well, you're not staying for first dance. Well, you've only booked me for 6 hours.
It's about managing expectations, Dan. You've got to always like communicate that that's the time you're finishing and, hurry up. If I'm got my 6, you've got to hurry up. And then like if you're always communicating it, then it's not as awkward, I think. And if you say from the beginning, oh yeah, if you want to add on extra hours, it's this much per hour, just make it super clear, I think.
Yeah, but I found that either on purpose or not, people would just forget and it would be scope creep. So like, they'd hire you for 6, but then like by the time you did the pre-wedding meeting, you're counting up the hours and it'd be like 7 or 8 hours and you're like, this doesn't work. And then you've got to have that, oh, hang on a minute, you've only had me for 6. And I'd just rather not have those conversations with people.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
We've gone on quite a tangent there, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. Yeah, I guess it's all related though. Like your website is your gateway to the customer, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's such an important gateway that I don't think you can afford to just skip and go, I'll just have an Instagram and TikTok account and that'll be it. I think you do legitimately need a good website, not just any website.
You and I both do web design. Yeah, I feel like are we doing quite different things?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, I would say so. Yours are way more colourful and sort of like aimed at more fun, and mine are not. That probably does sell myself short. But, I think there's completely different vibes and stuff.
Yeah.
And I like the actual hosting side as well. So I love to host people's websites and, and that, I guess that's because of my geeky background. I like getting into the back end and, oh, look at this. It's taking up too many CPU cycles. I've killed that.
Oh my gosh. See, I handed that all off to someone else. I didn't actually know you did that, so I could have called on you, but I've got my tech guy and I'm like, hey, Andy, can you make me a staging site for this client? And he just gives me a login. He makes the whole thing. He duplicates their website. He does everything for me. And I'm like, yeah, I have a link for the website. I make the website. I'm like, hey, Andy, can I go live now, please? And he'll do everything.
That's exactly what I do. And I think that's where I'm sort of differentiating from other people. Like if you go and go to a normal web host, if you ring them up and go, I want to do this, they'll be like, well, this is how you do it. Whereas I'll just go, I've done it for you. There you go. If it's simple.
There is, my host does have a really good chat help where they do help with that stuff. But yeah, I just don't want to, I've been there and done all of the stuff that's involved in making a website. I've done all of it. And I'm like, this is the stuff I don't want to do anymore. And it doesn't matter who does. To me, I'm the designy, put it all together, make it look pretty person. I don't need to be the one that does the tech side of it. So, having a tech person for me is like, it's helpful rather than I can focus on the stuff that I'm good at.
yeah. And we should all do that. We should all, because
Yeah.
I think that's what we've been saying today, isn't it? Focus on what you're good at. If we're photographers, focus on taking photos and hand off the boring stuff to someone who can do a better job for you.
Yes.
Because we're all in the business of trading time for money.
Yeah.
I mean, if the amount of hours it would take a non-webby person to design a good website,
Because you've got to learn.
and you'll do it
tech
half the
stuff,
time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's
Exactly.
where go and do something else instead.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I'm the same. I outsource everything that I don't need to do myself.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is such a powerful point that I know this isn't directly related to websites, but like recently, Adam Lowndes, talking to him, and he outsources all his editing to Udio, like we sometimes do. And as a result, he's got so much spare time that he's just been cranking out TikToks.
Oh, yeah.
So he can he's just thrown all that time into something productive like his marketing. And guess who, he's got 100 draft TikToks ready to go. I've got none. Who's going to get more inquiries in TikTok? Do you know what I mean? It's like,
That's it. Exactly. And like, if a wedding is worth £2,000 and a website costs you £2,000, then spend the 2,000 and spend all your rest of your time booking weddings. You're not going to book just one wedding in that spare time. You're going to book loads of weddings in that time it could have taken you to make your website. So you're actually making like loads more. That's why I actually charge for a website what most people charge for a wedding, so that wedding photographers are like, it's one for one.
it's one wedding. Yeah. And I remember when I started and I was trying to do everything myself before I learned how to do it well. So I tried to do it on the cheap. So I got the cheapest website host. I got the cheapest theme. I tried to put my own logo on it. And it didn't really work. And it was when I poured a bit more money into a premium hosting, premium theme, making the logo look much nicer, although looking back, it's quite embarrassing. Only then did I start seeing results.
Yeah.
And I think my website does contribute a lot to people booking me,
Yeah, same.
consciously or subconsciously.
Massively. I get so many comments on my website. So many.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes such a difference.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Cool. Right, Anna, I think let's leave it there. Hopefully we've convinced people we still need websites in 2026. One final thing I would love you to plug is Kick-Ass Photographers.
Oh, my lovely community. I love it so much. Oh, we spend about 4 hours together on Zooms every week, all of us, and it's just so nice to be part of. And yeah, so Kick-Ass Photographers is a membership, and you can join at kickassphotographers.com. And that's ass like American ass, not
Arse.
okay, arse, kick ass. And it's got like education and workshops and stuff. It's got like, we do regular workshops and talks from other people, and there's like courses in there and stuff. But mainly the best bit is the community Zooms where we chat.
That's the
It's
secret
so
sauce. Yeah.
Yeah.
The rest of the stuff is just ice sprinkling. So is that what the right thing is? But yeah, icing on the cake. Icing on the cake. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, but the foundation of the cake is the sponge is the Zoom.
Yeah.
We
Hangouts.
the hangouts, but not just like hanging out as like, now friends, but it's also like we learn so much from each other. We get so many ideas. Like so much of my business is transformed. Like we talked this morning about previews, how to deliver previews to our couples. And I was like, this is so damned useful. I was like, I'm going to make a note for April to rewatch this recording to look at, because obviously we've got no weddings to do previews for now. Like this conversation was so useful in what kind of previews, how to do them, when to do them, in what format, what kind of photo to send. It was so useful. And like, we're all always learning. And it was just so like, we always come up with some sort of gem every week. And then Thursdays we have our co-working where we just gossip for 3 hours while we get some work done. It's great.
Oh, you guys gossip. I generally do get quite a bit of work done. Occasionally, I'm half listening and I'll throw my little 2 cents in, but I do actually get work done on those codes.
Good. I think most people do. I'm not me, because I feel like as host, I find it really hard to concentrate on keeping a conversation going and also listening to what people are saying and also getting work done. Like I can cull when I'm hosting. I can't do website stuff. That's an hour right now. I can't concentrate on that.
Yeah, there is certain stuff I can do and I can't do. I can edit and stuff, but I couldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, it's obvious. I couldn't watch a YouTube video or something. That'd be daft. Yeah.
Yeah, editing video, can't do. But yeah, sitting, culling and editing together is so nice, so fun. And we can ask each other, like, Laura had a question this morning. She was like, why is my laptop slowing down so much I can't even use it? And we were like, actually, we ended up selling her.
Yeah, and
I'm buying a new
laptop on the way. Yay.
But like, she had us to ask, which was so nice. Like, it was so nice to be able to help in that way, and I have those people. So yeah, and we're having our Christmas party.
Yeah, I was going to say we're going out for Christmas is it a week, 2 weeks?
Is it? Yeah, it's about a week, 10 days. Birmingham. We're going, and we're going to do some fun activities, aren't we? Like bowling and
I don't know what we're doing.
Cool. We're doing bowling and ping pong, and then we're also doing a thing called the Playground, which is like a digital interactive game that you like play with your body, like jumping around squares and stuff.
Sounds so wrong.
And I've now just booked a wedding for the next day down in Brighton.
Oh yeah,
starting at 11:38.
Idea, yeah. Right, brill. So basically, guys, if that sounds like right up your street, then go to kickassphotographers.com. All right. Thank you so much, Anna. Thank you for joining us. And
thanks for having me.
I'll see you on Thursday.
Yay! See you then.
Take care. Bye.